Hey listeners, ready for a juicy one? We're diving deep into Taurus relationships, using astrology.
Astrology can be so illuminating.
Totally.
Yeah,
And even if you're thinking, wait, I'm not a Taurus, stick with us.
exactly. This isn't about predicting your future love life.
It's about understanding relationship dynamics, no matter your sign.
It's like peeking behind the curtain to see what makes people tick.
Okay, I like that. So let's peek behind the curtain for Taurus, shall we? Our sources keep mentioning sensuality. Is that just an astrologer word? What does it actually mean?
It means a lot to a Taurus.
Whoa.
Think about it. Taurus is an earth sign. They're all about the physical world.
Touch, taste, all that.
Exactly. They want to savor every experience.
So two Tauruses together, it's got to be intense.
You could say that. The potential is there for a connection that's both deeply physical and emotional. But,
There's always a but.
well, our sources mentioned something about Tauruses and effort. Or maybe laziness was the word they used. It's definitely something to unpack.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. What's the deal with Tauruses and effort? Spill the tea.
It's not that they're inherently lazy. It's more about what they're willing to put effort into.
Okay, so what does that mean for a Taurus couple?
For that spark to turn into a bonfire, both people have to be invested in nurturing the sensual side of the relationship. It has to be important to them.
So it's like the difference between, say, admiring a fancy dessert and actually taking the time to bake it together.
Perfect analogy. It's about consciously creating those sensual experiences together.
That makes a lot of sense. All right, moving on to another biggie. Trust. Now, our source material seemed a little conflicted here. Tauruses value honesty, but they also struggle with vulnerability. How does that work?
Ah, yes, the Taurus paradox.
Is there always a Taurus paradox?
Maybe. But seriously, it's that earth sign energy again. Think about it. A Taurus wants a firm foundation.
Solid ground, no surprises. Got it.
And honesty builds that foundation. It creates the trust that a Taurus needs to feel secure.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But where does the vulnerability issue come in?
Well, that same need for security can make a Taurus incredibly cautious.
How so?
Opening up, being vulnerable, it feels inherently risky, like they might not get the reaction they're hoping for.
Ouch. Yeah. I can see how that would be scary.
And if a Taurus has been hurt in the past, forget it. They'll build those walls sky high.
So they crave connection, but they're also terrified of it.
Exactly. It's a delicate dance.
And if both Tauruses are doing that, being cautious, could be tough to build a real connection, right?
It definitely complicates things, and that's where communication comes in, which, for a Taurus pair, can be another adventure entirely.
Yeah, our sources weren't exactly subtle about that whole Taurus communication style. I think one even used the word horns.
The Taurus stubborn streak. Everyone's heard about it, but hey, there's a reason for it, right? Taurus is a fixed sign.
Fixed meaning.
Meaning they like things a certain way, routines, comfort zones, change. Not their favorite.
Ah, so you're saying if one Taurus wants to try that new fusion restaurant and the other's all about the usual takeout, could be a recipe for disagreement.
Precisely. And it's not just about what they do together, it's how they talk about it. The source even said, Tauruses, not exactly known for pouring their hearts out.
More like keeping it all bottled up inside.
Exactly. So instead of talking things through, you get this withdrawal. Silence, maybe even a little passive aggressiveness, you know the drill.
Like trying to have a deep conversation with a brick wall. Solid, but not exactly forthcoming.
And this is where that vulnerability piece comes back in. See, the source really emphasized that for a Taurus relationship to go deep, they've got to be willing to share those vulnerable parts of themselves. Past hurts, deepest fears, you name it.
So basically, rip off the Band-Aid, be totally upfront, even if it's scary.
Exactly. It's about building that safe space where honesty can actually thrive. That's where real trust comes from for a Taurus.
Okay, makes sense. Now, switching gears a bit, our source material got a little woo-woo on us, talking about the moon's influence on Taurus. Something about exaltation. I'll be honest, lost me there.
No worries, it's simpler than it sounds. Think of it like this. In astrology, the moon represents our emotions, our feelings, our instincts.
Okay.
And Taurus is where the moon is said to be exalted, meaning its energy is strongest there, most positive.
Like the moon feels right at home in Taurus.
Exactly. And what does the moon represent? Emotions.
Right. But what's that mean for two Tauruses in a relationship, practically speaking?
It suggests they have this incredible capacity for emotional depth, for understanding each other's needs on a deep level.
Even if they stumble over the words sometimes.
Even then, it's like they speak the same love language deep down.
Interesting. It also makes me think about shared values, which our source mentioned. Like, what if one Taurus is all about financial security, while the other prioritizes travel and experiences? Could be some friction there, no?
Absolutely. And that's where things get really nuanced, because for a Taurus, values aren't just about the stuff. It's about recognizing and appreciating what's important, whether that's a physical object, a relationship, or even a belief.
So one Taurus might treasure their vintage record collection, while another finds value in, I don't know, volunteering their time.
Exactly. It's not about the what, it's about the why. The potential for conflict comes when those whys are fundamentally different. If one Taurus is all about stability and the other thrives on spontaneity, well, that requires some careful navigation.
Like mixing oil and water. You can try, but it's not going to blend easily.
Speaking of things that might not blend so well, our source pointed out something about Taurus and, well, simple pleasures, like eating and sleeping.
Well, we can't forget that Taurus enjoys the finer things in life, and that includes good food and a good night's sleep. What's wrong with that?
Hey, no judgment here, but I'm sensing there's more to this.
There's always more to uncover. What's interesting is how this ties into the importance of balance for a Taurus couple. See, that shared love of comfort and routine, it can be a slippery slope,
Meaning?
meaning it can turn into neglecting personal growth,
Yeah.
avoiding new experiences, maybe even letting physical health slide a bit. It's the classic comfort zone trap, but amplified because both partners are prone to it.
It's like you get too comfy in that comfort zone and suddenly you're stuck. Exactly. And the thing is, we all have those areas, right? Where we crave stability, maybe resist change a little more than we should. It's not just a Taurus thing.
So this Taurus dynamic, it's like a case study for all of us.
I like that because it helps us see those tendencies in ourselves and our own relationships. Gives us a new perspective, maybe even some tools to navigate those challenges more effectively.
Which is what this deep dive is all about.
Yeah.
Not about putting labels on people based on their sign, but gaining insights that help us have stronger, more fulfilling relationships, whatever that looks like for us.
Well said.
So, as we wrap up our Taurus exploration, it makes you wonder, what other astrological wisdom is out there, just waiting to be uncovered? Might be a fun conversation starter with your partner. See what you discover together. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the heart of a Taurus-Taurus connection. Until next time, keep exploring.